Hey, to all you beauty pros out there. Today, we are going to get into something that's, well, absolutely essential if you hold a license in Kentucky. We're talking about the relationship between the Board of Cosmetology, what the public is saying, and, most importantly, you.
All right, let's just jump right in with a number. 117. What do you think that is? Well, as of early December 2025, that was the total number of negative public reviews for the Kentucky Board of Cosmetology. Yeah, it's a number that immediately tells you there's a story here.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how it just lays that story out visually. I mean, look at this. Out of 162 total reviews, you've got a whopping 117 negative ones. And then, way down here, you have just 23 that are kind of mixed and only 22 positive. This isn't just a blip on the radar. This is a clear, overwhelming trend. So all this data, it really paints a picture, doesn't it? It leads us right into our first section here, a chorus of frustration. Let's dig into what's actually behind these numbers.
And let's be real, we're not just talking about a couple of people having a bad day. When you look at all 162 reviews from the source material, negative feedback is by far the most dominant theme. It points to a real pattern of experiences that are making professionals just like you feel like they have to speak out. Okay, so let's get into the nitty-gritty. What are people actually upset about? This brings us to the next piece of the puzzle, the data behind the delays. And wow, this table just says it all. The frustration isn't just some vague feeling. Look at the top two offenders here, communication challenges and license delays. They're practically tied. These aren't just little annoyances. We're talking about major roadblocks that can literally stop you from working and building your career.
And this quote, man, this really hits the nail on the head for so many people. Comments about difficulty reaching the board by phone or email. It's such a simple sentence, but it stands for dozens and dozens of stories from pros who feel like they're shouting into the void, just trying to get a straight answer.
Okay, so let's switch gears for a second. While all this is bubbling up from the public, what is the board itself actually talking about? This brings us to the official board memo.
And this right here is the key question, isn't it? The public is screaming about service and communication, so what's the board focused on? The answer kind of shows this huge disconnect.
It turns out that on December 5th, the exact same day this data was compiled, the Kentucky Board of Cosmetology, the KBC, sent out an official memorandum to every single licensed school in the state. So what was in this big official memo? Well, it announced that brand new regulations were now in effect. It made it crystal clear that schools have to tell students how to find these rules, and it pointed to one place, the Legislative Research Commission, the LRC, as the only official source for them. The focus is 100% on rules, on compliance, and on doing things by the book. This slide just lays it all out, clear as day. On one side, you've got the public, talking about service problems, delays, and trying to get their license processed. And on the other side, you have the board, talking about rule changes, putting responsibility on schools, and pointing to official sources. It's like two completely different conversations are happening at the same time. So, what a disconnect, right? How do we fix this? How do we bridge this massive gap? Well, that brings us to the most important part of this whole thing, the path to clarity. And the key lies in this concept called regulatory literacy. Now, that might sound kind of formal and academic, but all it really means is taking on the professional responsibility to know and understand the official rules of your own industry. It's about empowering yourself with the right information, straight from the source, so you can protect your own career. So how do you actually do this? What does it look like in the real world? Well, the source material gives us 4 super clear steps. 1. Respect the KBC's authority. 2. Use public records to stay informed. 3. And this is a big one, always verify what you hear with official sources like the KBC or LRC. And 4. Go straight to the horse's mouth. Email your questions directly to the board to get accurate answers, not gossip. You know, when you really think about it, this all boils down to one simple, powerful idea. Your license, your responsibility. And honestly, this quote from the student responsibility statement says it better than I ever could. It is the responsibility of every student and licensee to remain informed not only during enrollment, but also after graduation.
That's huge. Your education on the rules doesn't stop the day you get that diploma.
So, the crucial point is this. Relying on what you've heard, or on public assumptions, or what people are saying online, that's just not going to solve the problem. What does work is getting direct clarification from the KBC. Being proactive and professional is the real key to cutting through the confusion and avoiding all those frustrations we saw in the reviews.
And that kind of leaves us with one final question to chew on. Is your career, everything you've worked for, worth leaving up to chance? Or is it worth taking the responsibility to actually know the rules that govern it? I think we both know the answer to that.